Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebook, and welcome to another edition of Living Simply and Fun. Tonight we'll be reviewing The Fallen Angel by A.J. Fernandez.
Unfortunately, because of the glare from these lamps up above, it's very hard to see the labels in here. But that's that. It's a box press double Toro or Gordo size 6x60. It hardly looks like a 60 because of the box pressing, but apparently it is, and that is a very beautiful box press. I've seen some that look really crummy.
Horrible.
This is a gorgeous looking box press. Oh yes, you need to find your notes.
Right here. I do want to say...
We did enjoy this wonderful cigar today, and thanks to CI having these on sale for $13.95, I think it was, for 5 of them, which is almost a third off the normal 5-pack price.
I do want to say to all you viewers out there, good review from Desert Smoke Review, but I will be plainly, simply saying this is not a pepper bomb.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with their assessment that this cigar is a pepper bomb. I noticed absolutely zero pepper in it. I mean, there are some heavy spicy flavors in there, and there was a little, well, I'd hate to say it now, but in the first third I got this flavor of like pepper in the back of my throat, but it wasn't in the smoke. So I can't say it was a pepper bomb. Anyways, back to the prices of this. I paid like $13.95 for 5 of them. They're usually $37, I think, for 5 of them. Something like that at Cigar International. They're about $120 for a box of 20. They are an A.J. Fernandez cigar. And from the wrapper, the basic smell from this, if anything, in my opinion, was a very, very faint mocha and almost barely there.
I want to say this cigar, first of all, is from the country of Nicaragua.
Yes.
It's a good
We don't always say much about where the cigars are from because, as I've noticed, it really seems to matter not much where they came from unless you're one of these people that says, I will only smoke cigars from Nicaragua. And I don't think there's anybody out there really like that. The type of wrapper, unless it's a Candela, it's really not all that differently unique. Yes, there's some different flavors in them, but, you know, I've tasted Ecuadorian Sumatra wrappers like this before that have no such flavors that this one has. So
I do want to say, before we get into it, it takes a lot of skills, I bet, for the tercidors. That's right, the rollers, to roll into a square cigar.
They don't roll it into a square cigar. They're called box press due to the fact that when they're rolled, they're put into a box and pressed flat until they've taken on that shape. So they're rolled round.
Oh, I didn't know this. So there you go.
That's why box pressed.
Talking about the smell, I was picking up, and still am, Mocha Earth Espresso. Yes, this is a earthy cigar, I will tell you up front.
Her stinker must be better than mine, because mine don't smell it.
My stinker does work a lot better.
Maybe that's good for me. I don't have to smell your dog so bad.
Me and him did not want our stinkers to pick up the guy that farted the other day at Safeway and then walked down 2 aisles. That thing was a lingerer for 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm happy I don't have to live with your dog. With your stinker. Because he stinks.
Yeah,
so I can smell that, so if yours is better than mine. Woo. Hot doggy. Okay, so getting into the first third of this cigar, I noticed some mild coffee flavors. At first there was a hint of something I couldn't identify, but it was very pleasant and unique. The flavor lingered on my lip, particularly right here. I thought it might be what I'd call chewy due to the fact that I was sitting there involuntarily going, that's... It's like I wanted to taste it more, and so I guess maybe this is what you would call chewy. And as I said, I got that slight peppery feeling at the back of my throat, but I had no flavors of pepper in the smoke.
I just wanted to say that I agree with Aaron when we both agree that it had that flavor that just rolled around on your lips, and it stayed there for throughout almost the entire smoke.
It would come and go after the second half, but
I picked up on the initial light up, chocolate, mocha, cream, and espresso. Mocha and espresso are coffee flavors, but I picked up both of them. And I gotta tell you, it was one fine initial light. And I wanted to say, on top of that, just so you cigar smokers know, Aaron lit his up a little earlier because I was trying to finish up a pipe.
Mm-hmm. So she chased the pipe with this. This is a cigar chaser for a pipe. So, I guess, getting into the second half, I noticed that the coffee flavor still seemed to be the predominant thing, and not much else.
Well,
I'll get to that.
As I said, the initial light up was mocha, cream, espresso, and chocolate. My first third, after I got through the initial, it was still creamy butterness. I got hints of cedar, spices, earthiness, and a little bit of hints of oak. So that was a really complex cigar.
I'm going to give here, though, in the finish, the final third of this, and I'm going to do some reflect on it, too. Sorry about the dog. Probably the neighbor came up the stairs or something. They love to stomp. In the final third, though...
I'll be right back.
Sorry, this is getting a bit complicated to do. In the final third here, I noticed some spice in the end, more so than the rest of this, and it was very pleasant.
I'm sorry, the neighbor's sweeping the outer
that's what
porch
she's doing.
and hitting my door at the same time.
The spices that I was noticing might have been like tamarind, cardamom, paprika.
Thank you.
You should have walked in front of me, then try to squeeze between.
Come on.
Nutmeg, cinnamon, and slightly minty. There was also some earthiness I picked up in the final, and some really rich cedar flavors, like smoking a cigar box, which Rita had said to me. And afterthought, I noticed that all those flavors had been present as I'd smoked this, but I wasn't able to determine what they were. It was that thing that I mentioned at the beginning, that there's something unidentifiable but pleasant. And when I was getting into the final third, those flavors started to hit me. This is a very complex cigar. Almost every single puff had a slightly different flavor to it, or something I hadn't noticed before. I bet you I could literally smoke a box of these, and I would still be picking up things different from each one. This cigar is fabulous, in my opinion.
My last third was creaminess and tons of cedar, and I'm just gonna say, since I did a very good in-depth review of the cigars, it has a lot of smoke, and I also want to say it's a medium to full-bodied, moved up to full-bodied at the end of the entire cigar. It also is approximately $120 a box. Just so you know, I had no, and I mean no,
whacking your door.
No construction issues.
I did.
No construction issues, no draw issues, and I just want to say every puff was enjoyable. The finish was creamy and smooth, even burn. It was basically a complex taste bomb. It's also
I love her wording on that.
A complex taste bomb. It also is a cigar that after you finish it, I got mine down to about a half an inch, which a lot of people smoke it to 1.5 inch, toss it, and say, "Oh, that was good." Yeah,
we noticed a certain very popular cigar reviewer had done a review of this after we'd smoked it. We went to see what some others had to say out of curiosity, and he tossed it with that much left on the cigar. It's like, no, I smoked mine down to there. I burn my fingertips.
Yeah,
if I
all
can.
the way to my fingertips.
I think it's such a waste of a cigar to toss it when you have like 1.5 inches, 2 inches left. I mean, geez, that's when you're hitting the sweet spot.
Exactly, and that's one thing I like about the nubs. Those little squatties is they are just pure sweet spots.
I mean,
the final part of the cigar I want to share before he goes on is it's also a cigar if you smoke it all the way down like I did. Very short. He thought I was finished, but I wasn't, but it finally did. It's a cigar that makes you totally hungry after you smoke it.
Well, we smoked this just before dinner, and dinner was ready as she was finishing hers up, and I thought hers was done and ready for dinner, so I went to set the table and moved it. And she's like, I ain't done with that yet. But anyways, what I was trying to say is, if you're throwing out a cigar just before the label, well, you missed out on this cigar, because the cigar starts getting to the point that you recognize what you'd smoked beforehand in this part.
The sweetness, as the Oliva family says, is it, the sweetness is...
It's kind of like watching a movie where you don't really understand the plot until they give you the twist right at the end. And so you don't know how it ends up if you haven't seen the end, and you get the wrong idea of what the movie's all about because you haven't seen it.
Like I said, it's a complex taste bomb.
I mean, who seriously would sit there and watch Rain Man and turn it off with 20 minutes left to go in the movie and say they've seen the movie and they didn't like it? I mean, that's probably a bad choice of a movie, but I just picked one off the top of my head because I saw Dustin Hoffman's photo today. So, and anyways, my overall rating on this cigar was a 9.8. I chalk it up to AJ Fernandez. Every single cigar I've had of AJ Fernandez has been a straight-on winner. I can't complain about anything I have ever smoked about of his that I can think of.
I want to say I need to try the New World.
Yeah, same here.
However, I'm going to one-up him and say this is actually a 9.9. Through and through, across the board, it was just a complex taste bomb.
I could agree with you on a 9.9. I'm not going to argue. This cigar, I only gave this a 9.8 because I could see this cigar very much being like, if I am not in the mood, it'd be like watching a tearjerker movie, again, talking movies, like watching a tearjerker when I'm already in a point of severe depression. You don't want something that makes you feel worse.
The other thing is
if you're feeling crappy and you don't want something like this, it's going to make it even worse.
I recommend this cigar up there in my cigar reviews, up there with the complex taste bomb of The Reckoning by Oliva, Studio Tobacco. I mean, they are just two.
I would recommend smoking this on a full stomach. When you're having a great day and everything's going right and you really want something that's full of flavor, this cigar is going to be very rewarding to you.
Yes, it is.
But if you smoke this on a depressing day where you're sad and you don't want anything in the mood and you just want something to help you pass the time, this cigar ain't going to do it for you. You're just going to sit there and not appreciate it.
So, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestion. Thank you, and may God bless the world.